Let RC with another update on the Losi V100. Alright, so when I last left off, I was running a 65 tooth spur, I had a 40 tooth pinion, 32.5 mile per hour. I ordered a 42 tooth pinion and was able to do 32.4, so I dropped just a hair. And so everything basically stayed the same. So I put the brushless back in, and with the 7.2 volt nickel metal hydride, it was cogging so bad it was useless. It was unusable. So I brought the car in, just put it on the stand, and just to make sure everything was okay with it, and everything was, but I noticed my factory drive shaft was flexing so bad it was rubbing the chassis with the combination that I just mentioned. So I had a aluminum one on order, but since they've discontinued this car, I really don't see them ever bringing those drive shafts back, but I could be wrong. But regardless, I was tired of waiting, so I found a guy in line. I think it's Kanzi, RC, I think it's Kanzi, if I'm not mistaken. Makes custom drive shafts for this car and a lot of others, and might make some other parts too. I forget. I was just looking at the drive shafts for this particular car. So he makes, at least for this car, stainless steel and titanium. He was out of stock on the titanium, so I just got the stainless steel. One thing to note, it is longer than the original one. It doesn't have these pins on it. It gets rid of those cups that these pins engage, and it gets rid of that shorter section that your gears get pinned onto, so that it makes it all one piece, which is nice. I guess hopefully eliminates some weak points with the factory setup. And one thing I didn't notice with this either is that there's a steel rod in the middle of this thing. You can see it through these holes, and obviously if you put a magnet to it, you can tell it sticks. But yeah, this thing was flexing so bad, it was rubbing the chassis. So I got some pictures, I'll put that up with the car torn apart, putting the drive shaft in, and while I was doing that, since I had to take the front and rear diff covers off, I converted over to the Losi metal gears, and I'll put a picture of that up too. So I got everything back together, set everything up with a programming card for the brushless system, and then I bought a new battery to hopefully eliminate the cogging. So I got this Power Hobby battery, 3S, 5200 milliamp, 50C, and this did eliminate almost all the cogging. There's just a little bit of low end, but once you get it rolling, it's completely smooth. And if you back out of it to almost a crawl and then kind of modulate the throttle, there's almost no cogging there. I guess the issue was the gearing along with the brushless didn't like that 7.2 volts, and it needs more power output. One thing I did learn, if I could go back and do it again, I would have just bought a censored motor, spent a little extra money on a censored motor to hopefully eliminate that cogging, because it's kind of annoying. But like I said, with this battery, it's mostly gone. 95% of it's gone. Let's see here. So I took the car out, actually just this morning, right before I did this video. Did a run with the 3S. Well, I tried to do a run with the 3S, put it that way. So here's what's left of it. Spoiler got ripped off, so what happened, made some passes, make sure everything was functioning okay, everything was trimmed out. And when I actually did my first real speed run, right as the car left the camera view and right when I was getting ready to let out of it, it went airborne. I guess it caught air underneath the front end, flipped it up over onto the roof, slid into the grass. As you can see, ripped the spoiler off, scratched the body up, and then I guess probably the body mounts and the shock mounts punched through the Lex in here from underneath. It's not cracked all the way across, but it's cracked most of the way. And then it's got some little chips and scrapes in the front end and stuff too, or whatever. No biggie there. The rest of the car is fine. Like I said, it wasn't that bad of a crash. Like I said, it just went right up on the roof and into grass. At that point, let's see here, got my GPS. GPS flew off. Got scratched up, but I recovered it. I guess it went airborne about 45.8. So that was about, it's about 12 mile per hour faster than it ever went before it caught some air. So I had planned to also try to get a new spur gear in this thing, but at this point there's no sense doing that because that 45 mile per hour was part throttle. I don't even know, it maybe was 50% throttle, I'm not even sure. So I need to find a much larger area, and I need to figure something out as far as aero goes to keep this thing down. And this body, it just isn't going to cut it for that, I don't think. So I do have a new body. I'll do a separate video on that because I don't want to make them super long here. And then I'll attach my video of the wreck. Well, you won't see the car wreck, you'll just hear it. And then some still shots of the drive shaft going in with the metal gears. All right, that's all for now. Like I said, I'll do another short video on the new body that I got.